What should we do today? Listen, I don't know what we're doing today. I just set up this shot and then kind of just sitting here and wondering what to do. I know I want to do kind of like a repot, but I'm not really sure who. I feel like a hot mess today. I came into this plant room to do some plant chores, to do some watering, and honestly, I got a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of plants that need attention right now. So I wanted to film, but I also desperately need to do some of these like plant chores. So some repotting, some like pole extensions, and I just thought maybe I'll just do two things at once, film this video, do some plant chores, just see where the day takes us. So I just came off of an 8-day work streak, so I'm feeling a little bit like all over the place, a little bit frazzled, a little bit just not all here. So I just didn't have the mental capacity to plan out a video. So today we're just gonna go with the flow. We're gonna repot, we're just gonna hang out, we're gonna chit chat. I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna be doing. There are a few plants I definitely want to attend to, but other than that, no plan whatsoever. By the way, this background is still a work in progress. So this right here is my big EXO that I got from Lauren, the one that's 3 feet by 3 feet, the biggest EXO that they make. And I finally got it in here the other day. But when I got it in here, a lot of plants moved around, and basically this whole wall of my plant room has been in work in progress for like over a month. And a lot of the plants that were in like smaller EXOs in here got moved out of their EXOs in preparation for moving like this new shelf in, the new EXO. And a lot of them are really not happy. They've been ripped out of their like greenhouse environments and they're just living in regular room humidity. And some of them definitely took a crap. Now that this EXO is in, I've kind of shoved a few plants in there, but they're not arranged in the way that I'd like them to be. And there's still a lot of plants here like on the lower shelf that are out in regular room conditions. Some I plan to continue growing in those conditions, and some I plan on getting back into a greenhouse. But all in all, it's been a kind of overwhelming month in terms of work and yeah, basically just work. It's been pretty brutal and I've been working a ton. My schedule's just been like absolutely turned upside down. I don't know what day it is most of the time. I just like wake up, work, come home, order DoorDash, sleep, go back to work. I actually don't really know how I've been able to put out a video every week, but I felt like I got into like a nice groove with videos that were fairly easy. And I had all these videos planned out and I was just kind of like knocking them out. And then we got to this week and I was like, I realized I didn't have anything planned. And also like last week ended up being like a complete gong show. So now I'm at a place where like mentally I'm not all there. And I don't really have a vision for this week's video. So basically today I have my repotting stuff with me. I have my pond, I have some vessels, and I'm just gonna start looking around the room and grabbing plants that I've been neglecting and I've been putting off repotting or whatever for a really long time. And we'll just kind of talk and yeah. Okay, so do you guys remember I did a top 10 most difficult houseplants video, like most difficult for me. And I showed my Monstera deliciosa, my Brazilian common form, that has just not grown for me for like 2 years. And I've probably rooted it like 6-7 times. When I showed it in the video, it was like super curled up. It had lost all its roots and there was like just no sign of anything happening on there. The growth point had died off and it was looking so freaking sad. It had lost all its roots being in like this like pond, like a parfait kind of situation. So I took it out of that and I put it in bubbler just because it was like so like shriveled up and stuff. I needed it to be hydrated. And so it had been a bubbler for, I don't know, months, like many months, and just nothing. So basically it was hooked up to a bubbler on this wall here. And when I moved everything out to put this EXO in, that bubbler got unplugged. I shoved that whole vessel over to the other side of the room near to a window. It was just like stagnant water and it was sitting there. That water turned like so brown. It was so gross. I was afraid to smell it. And I saw it every day, but I just ignored it. And I was like, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. And then one day I was like, so basically right here is where I do my makeup. And it was just like next to my makeup table. I was doing my makeup and I like turned around and I looked at the leaf and I was like, you're looking really perky. Sure enough, this rooted in dirty brown water. I was happy and yet also incredibly annoyed. Like, look how happy it is in this vessel right now. Actually, this water used to be super brown. Like, you can see through it now. It looks pretty clear, but it was like just brown water. And for some reason that brown kind of liked, I don't know, it just settled. It was, I don't know what that sediment is. You can see a lot of like brown floaties at the bottom, maybe. Can you see? Yeah, all that stuff used to be kind of like dispersed through the water and it was really gross and swampy looking. And now it's rooted, and it's rooted like freaking crazy. So this is, by the way, this is my Philodendron stump. It's still really firm. Like this black is just oxidized and it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but it's not rotted or anything. Look at my finger. Look at that. That's disgusting. Look at these crazy roots. It also activated a growth point. I don't know what to think. Like, it's enjoying the bacteria, I guess, that's in there. Let me smell it. It actually doesn't smell bad. I want to get it potted up, but I'm also incredibly afraid that it's just gonna rot all these roots again. So yeah, but it's looking so much perkier and nice, right? I'm really happy that it started to do something and it rooted so nicely in the water. I just don't know if moving it into pond is going to kill all these roots off. And also I had this SP Columbia or SP Silver rooting in here. This was one that I chopped up in a video, and it lost all of its roots and it wouldn't root again in pond. I had it in my tent, I had it in like a bin, I had it outside in regular room conditions, I had it in the bubbler as well, and nothing. And now that it's in this dirty swamp water, look at all these primordial roots that are forming. And like we have 1, 2, 3 activated growth points and some like 1 or 2 water roots coming out. I don't know what this magical water is, but it's doing something. It kind of smells like, just kind of like oceany. So this one, since there's no actual roots, there's just like these beginnings of roots, I'm going to just leave it in this pond for a little bit, my little magic pond. I honestly can't tell you like what might even be in here. Like I didn't add anything. This is just tap water that had been in a bubbler, and there's a lot of like sediment that's been like washed off of like the chunks and stuff. So there's like definitely dead matters, which probably bred a lot of bacteria, and beyond that, no clue what's going on in here. So we'll leave the SP Columbia. I don't know what to do with this Philodendron. I really want to scrape it, but it's just gonna oxidize and turn black again. Ooh. I'm just pulling off some dead tissue at the top and seeing what's going on here. Ew, it's mushy. This was where the petiole was of the leaf that fell off. Yuck. Okay, so the top of the stem is a little bit gross. Ew, I'm sorry if you're like eating something right now. Okay, let's put this away. We're not dealing with that Pelty today. Sorry guy, you're going back in the pond. So we're gonna get this guy into pond, I think, and just hope that it doesn't die. Honestly, like my toxic trait is that I can't grow Monstera for shit, and I'm just doing my best, you guys. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
I'm gonna go grab a vessel and come right back. So I have this vessel here. Here's the thing. In my experience with this Monstera, every time it gets disturbed, it drops all its roots. So my idea is I'm gonna pot it in something bigger that I can live in for a longer time, because I don't want to repot this anytime soon unless it drops all its roots again. I really hope not. The last time I had it rooted, I didn't have Great White, so I'm hoping that Great White will be the one that allows it to not take a crap when I repot it this time with all the beneficial bacteria inside. So fingers crossed. I'm going to put it into like a big vessel like this, kind of pot it like that, and hopefully it'll be happy in here for a little while, at least while it grows. Luckily right now, oh my goodness, right now my pond mix is like on the coarser side because I have all this like really giant perlite mixed in, which might actually be a good thing for this Monstera. So I'm still in disbelief that it finally rooted because I've been trying to root it for so long. I would say this is a plant that like was the worst for my plant mom ego, because like I've failed this plant so many times. It just never wants to be happy with me. When I got it, I was convinced it was just going to be a walk in the park, but it really wasn't. I'm going to pot it really close to the front so it has all the space in the back to grow this way, and then if I want to put a pole in there, I have this space right here. So I'm going to go all the way to the front here and kind of angle it a bit forward so the stem is like pretty vertical, and we'll start filling you up. Actually, I don't want to take any chances with this repot, so I'm going to put Great White now. I'm going to actually dust it dry onto the roots, and I might even just add some more after. But this way I know for sure we got some myco in contact with the roots. And this plant has been in dirty swamp water for like, I don't even know how long. It was in that bubbler with just water for months, and then now it's been in dirty swamp water, which wasn't getting nutrients added to it. So it's definitely going to be hungry. So hopefully it will germinate these fungal spores readily. I'm so nervous for this plant, you guys. Please don't die. I'm a little bit nervous that I can't see the roots. You know, I'm gonna start over, and I'm gonna pot it so that I can actually put some roots against the glass, because I want to be able to monitor it. I'm actually starting to really like this Great White smell. It's so mushroomy. It smells very earthy and foresty. So again, towards the front, and then I'll just push at least one or two of these like big primary roots forward so I can keep an eye on them, and hopefully the pond won't cover them up. We'll do a bit more myco because I'm not freaking playing around. That was a lot. It's okay, you can't overdo it with myco. It's not going to harm your plant whatsoever. It's just expensive, that's all. But Charmaine is in California right now, and we went on a little shopping spree, and she's bringing home a nice big tub of Great White. So I'm feeling a little bit myco rich right now. Okay, I'm happy that I can see some of the roots now. Not all of them, but at least some of them. I feel better about this. So here's kind of what it looks like now. It's potted right up at the front here, so I'll still have room to put a pole in it if I want to later. Oh no, these roots are so high up. I need to make sure everything is covered. Hopefully those roots will find their way downwards. This is a lot fuller of a pot than I was anticipating. I'm hoping that great white will do its magic and this plant will live. So I'm just gonna water this now because this pond is super dry. I don't want those like nice juicy water roots to dry out. So I'm gonna try to avoid flushing the myco off of the roots. So I'm gonna just go fill up at the back here, and I'm going to create a water reservoir that pretty much fills up the entire leca layer at the bottom. It's about 2 or 3 inches, but a lot of that reservoir will be gone by tomorrow because all this water here is going to move up into the super dry pond, and then I can add more water later, but because this is like a water rooted plant, it's going to be used to a lot of water, so I'm gonna have to like refill that pretty much constantly until it gets used to like an airier medium. So right now water, I'm so out of breath. Right now water is right here. The roots are probably like another inch up from there. So to be honest, I can probably go up a little bit higher because all that pond is going to suck up the water really fast. So say a little prayer for this guy. Hopefully he'll be okay. Who's next? I know who's next. But I'm so lazy. So this one is my white princess. It's been, I mean, I think it kind of reverted, to be honest, but it's been so sad in this moss. So I said I wanted to get all my plants out of moss, and oh my goodness, it's so crunchy. Okay, I need to wet this before I take the moss off, but yeah, it's possibly reverted. There's been actually 2 fully green leaves in a row, and then before that fully green leaf was this half moon. I know that white princess can do this, so I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to get it into pond. So let's just wet this moss first. It looks like the roots are pretty good, but they're just not very fuzzy. But this moss has been dried out so many times, and every time I water moss plants, especially if they're like hanging, and this plant is hanging on the side of my tent, it's just so hard to get it to fully hydrate. And even if I take it down and like run it under the sink, even that I feel like doesn't really get to the core and around the root balls. So unless I sit it in a saucer and bottom water it, it never really gets fully hydrated. I'm just over moss. So over moss. I don't think I'll ever reach for moss as a substrate, at least in the foreseeable future. I don't think. It's just, yeah, I feel like the only use I'll have for moss is to use it for moss pools, or to maybe add it into soil. But as a primary substrate, I don't really see much benefit to it anymore. But the disadvantages for me and like my parenting habits is just like, it's just not compatible. Like I'm not knocking anyone who uses moss, but it's just not working for me. Although I suppose I would still germinate seeds in it if it's like in an enclosed prop box kind of situation, and it wouldn't dry out for a really long time. So I feel like that might be one of the uses I do for it. But in terms of like an actual plant and a substrate, I would never use moss. Never say never, but I don't see myself ever reaching for it anytime soon. And it makes me, just the sound of crunchy dry moss makes me so mad. I feel like it triggers me so much because it's been associated with so many plants dying. With my schedule and my foreseeable schedule, like I can't really imagine a time when I'm gonna have like the kind of like COVID life lockdown like pace where I used to be able to keep on top of the watering. Like I need substrates that will hydrate quickly, and that would be like semi-hydro plants, so pon and leca or perlite or soil. Even if it's in drainage, it would have a saucer on it, which would catch water and allow it to kind of like soak back up if the soil got so dry that it became hydrophobic. But moss, I feel like the only benefit was that it's light enough that you could like hang a plant up. But yeah, that's that's a pretty big advantage. But if the plant's not going to be able to stay hydrated long enough to even like take up water nutrients in order to grow, then what is the point? I feel like having moss in moss poles is enough moss for me to worry about keeping hydrated, if that makes sense. It kind of smells, this one kind of smells like Myco too, or maybe it's on my fingers. I actually haven't even decided what I'm gonna do with this. So, okay, so this one needs a pole, right? Am I gonna do a pole for it? Do I have it in me? How long have I been recording for? 38 minutes. I feel like White Princess can grow without a pole, right? At least for a little bit. We're not gonna give you a pole, sorry girl. So there's definitely roots here that are like fried at the ends. If you can see here, there's like those black ends there. Definitely from when it dried out a bunch of times. I'll probably try to snip those off. And then I'm not gonna worry too much about getting all of the moss off, just like the big chunks, and then we'll get it into pond. Where's my sizers? Hello, sizers. By the way, I finally got a haircut booked for this weekend. I'm so excited. This is gonna be like the first weekend that I've had off in a month, maybe? I've been just taking like super random days off. Like if there's a day that I'm not like absolutely needed somewhere, then I take it off. And those are the days that I've been filming. So I really, honestly, my hair is like down to my hips right now, and it's getting way too much. Like it's so much to wash and dry and style, but also like it's been hot in Vancouver and I can't even wear it down without like just like feeling like there's 10 pounds of like blanket on top of my head. So I'm really, really excited to get some hair chopped off and get it all lightened up, and then I'll feel human again. I feel very much like I'm just surviving right now through life. But definitely like YouTube is something that keeps me going because it's not something I'm willing to like cut out. So, I mean, I've been sacrificing a lot of time to do housework and do like other hobby stuff like baking and cooking and stuff. I'm not really willing to cut YouTube out of my life because work gets busy. It's just I need to kind of set boundaries somewhat. So, but yeah, I'm really, really excited to get a haircut. I feel like a self-care day would definitely be welcome, but also that's going to be the day that I'm editing this video that I'm filming right now. So it's going to be not super restful, but feel good at the end of it. I don't know what I'm going to put you in. Should I do pond or should I do soil? Because I have a lot of soil, pond, soil. Let's do pond. I need a cup. Ideally, I'd want to get this into like a cute cup, but to feel like it's in a rehabby state right now, so I'm gonna put you into one of these disposable cups. Someone asked me where I get these. They're not actually pots. They are like a yogurt kind of parfait cup, which I got from a coffee shop that was like throwing these out. I'm getting a little worried because my pond reserve is getting really low. Like I feel like after like I finish up this, I don't have that much pond left, and I also don't have a ton of perlite either, so I'm getting pretty worried. I guess not so much for the perlite, that's a little bit easier to get, but not pond. So I think the next time, if I'm not able to buy pond, I'm actually just gonna make my own, and let me know if you're interested in seeing a video on like mixing a DIY pond mix. But essentially, one of the ingredients is a lot easier to find in the winter. Hopefully the timing works out that like it becomes available again, because I don't want to be that person to call a hardware store and ask them to like special order me an ingredient for pond. I'd rather just get it when they have it available in store. This one I'm just gonna add, might go to the water and then just water the plant with it. Mushroom soup. This one also has an emergent leaf right now, and then I feel like it's looking really green. I'm pretty sure this plant is reverted, but let me know if you have this experience with White Princess. Did the variegation come back? I'm sure if I chopped it again that the variegation will return. It might just be sad. Okay, so finally got that one done. I also wanted to do my Philodendron Heterocrospidon. So this one is in a mixture of moss and like coconut chunks, and also suffered a bunch of underwatering. Oh no. Oh, these poor roots. You, moss. This one needs to be hydrated. I'll be right back. I'm actually really surprised that this plant hasn't taken more of a dive. Seeing that it completely dried out multiple times, just like that White Princess. I find this plant kind of hard to root, so I'm very not happy with myself that I've fried a lot of these like nice chunky roots. Why did I choose this medium to grow this plant? What was going through my mind? I hate this so much. As I'm pulling this moss off, I'm remembering that this is like the really nice like New Zealand sphagnum moss. I was like, oh, this plant's gonna like it so much. This is like the really fluffy sphagnum moss. It's the worst. I hate. This is one of the things about growing plants that I've hated the most, and I don't know why it never clicked that I should just stop growing plants and moss so I never have to deal with this anymore. Except on moss pole roots, of course, but this is not it. pull some sheaths. Some of these roots look crazy fried, like this one looks really, really dark. And yet there's like still live roots coming off of it. So I don't think it's dead. I mean, the only way for me to find out is to cut it here to see if there's live tissue inside, but that would get rid of all of this. So I'm gonna leave it because, like, I mean, if it is dead, which I don't think it is, but if it is dead, then the bacteria will kind of break it down anyways. But this end is dead. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that and get that into pond as well. I want to put it in no drainage so that I could still hang it off the back of my tent, because it kind of hangs like this. Because for me, it's definitely a hanging plant, and eventually it's gonna need a pole. But is today the day for the pole? No. So again, I'm just gonna situate this near to the front of the pot so that there is room for a pole later should I choose to add one, which honestly I will definitely pull this plant. Otherwise it's not gonna really grow as big as I want it to. I have all these aerials coming out the top here that definitely want something to grab onto. I just can't do it today, you guys. That's the nice thing about the lazy pole, is that you can just add it to an already potted plant very easily, because you're just constructing a pole around it. So it's very, it won't be difficult to add one later. Like, I did that with my esqueleto before. There's plenty of space for a pole. And I don't think it's going to outgrow this pot anytime soon, because it's quite not a prolific rooter in my experience. And it's probably just me and the care that I give this plant, but it's not going to become root bound in this vessel for a really long time, I don't think. Okay, she's done. Hopefully this will be her second shot at growing nice and big and strong. I put quite a lot of water in there this time. I put water up to about here because, like I said, this pond is like bone dry, so all of that's gonna probably recede down to about here by tomorrow. So I bought a hydro flask, right? Because, well, first of all, I used to carry a water, like a sippy cup with me everywhere. And for some reason, I was like, I would only drink out of that if it was sparkling water. And my soda stream, the canister ran out, and I just like never replaced it. I just kept forgetting and then it just wasn't part of my life anymore. So I'm just like, I know I need to drink more water. So I bought a hydro flask because Charmaine won't shut up about it. Okay, I believe that it's going to stay cold for a really long time. Like she says, like the ice water will be icy for like days, which is great, and it does. But I asked her if it's easy to clean, and she's like, oh yeah, it's so easy to clean. It even comes with a brush that cleans the straw. It didn't come with a brush that cleans the straw. I feel kind of cheated. Okay, next I want to do some, I desperately need to do some lazy pole extensions, or like, this one for sure just needs more moss built up because it's grown past. Oh my god, this one's going crazy. This one's growing so fast now. Okay, so this is obviously my Florida Beauty. It's been growing at an alarming pace right now, and this is the newest leaf. Isn't she cute? This is the leaf before it that I have shown before, but this one, we're seeing it mature now, which is awesome. And it already has a leaf emerging here at the top. I'm going to extend, oh dear. Okay, this root here is like totally stuck to the plastic. I'm just gonna extend the moss upwards so that there's moss for it to root into here. I have these like random strips of plastic I had pre-cut. Yeah, I think this will work. I just need one, I think. Yeah, we can do this. So I'm just gonna cut this about to here, should be fine. And then where do the slits need to go? Here. Okay. This is how you fasten the clear plastic. So you basically, instead of fastening it like this, right? You can see the ends of it would be sticking out and may potentially poke plants behind it. You should actually fasten them inwards like this so that the flaps are on the inside. And I just want to thank Megan for sending me that tutorial, because she tried to explain it to me. Someone tried to explain to me like how I should actually be folding this, and then I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Please explain this to me like I'm 5. So she sent me a little video, and it is in my Instagram highlights. If you look at the lazy pole highlights, I've included it there if what I just didn't make any sense. So now that's in, I can fill with moss. Yes, can you guys see? Look at this freaking fuzzy root. Can you see that? This plant is so happy on this pole. I can't believe how fast it's been growing. It's just been like a leaf every 2 weeks. And it's gonna be maturing in no time. I'm gonna have to extend this pole. I'm not going to chop it, and I'm not going to re-pole it. I'm just going to extend the pole as soon as it reaches the top here. Sorry if this is not the best angle, but I'm really concerned about breaking the top off. This emergent leaf is so delicate, so this is the best I can do for now. So in about a couple weeks, this is gonna reach the top of the pole. See how close we are here? And I'm gonna have to extend it. Just not my favorite idea in the whole world. I hate extending poles. I just feel like I can't do it in a way that looks nice, but it's gonna have to get done. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and do it. I can honestly probably fill the moss more than this, but at least all of the stem is covered and like there's more substrate for it to root into. So pre-moss pole, right? And these were grown out of like a mature top cutting. So the leaf was more mature than this, and it reverted back to leaves like this and this. It was so sad, and it like I got no joy out of this plant for a long time until I put it on a pole. And yeah, like there's so many roots in here. So my camera died in the middle of that, and I went downstairs to take a quick break, order some dinner, and now I'm back. I'm gonna do a couple more plants, but yeah, just to finish this one off, this thing is growing at an alarming pace now. Like this leaf is emerging. This leaf is not even fully hardened yet. It's still really, really supple and soft. And then just want to showcase like how many roots have formed inside this moss pole, like all this down here. We saw that like really thick fuzzy one earlier. I think I covered it up, but here's the little tail of it right here. So I'm like so happy with the results of this like lazy pole. It's freaking beautiful. I'm glad to finally fall back in love with this plant now that it's back to looking somewhat close to its former glory. Like when I first got it, I'll pop in a picture of what it used to look like. It was stunning. I want to say it was a fairly new import, so I think this one's gonna catch up to my Florida Ghost in no time based on its current growth rate. I'm looking and I'm seeing a lot of EFN. Hopefully it's not too stressed out. But yeah, the next time you see this, it's gonna need a pole extension. But look at how pretty it is now. I'm so happy. What a beautiful plant. I also see a lot of people growing Florida Beauty, Florida Ghost without a pole, and it seems to do fine. And that's kind of like the mentality that I had. And I was like, it's a climber that doesn't necessarily need a pole, but like seeing how crazy it's been growing since getting a pole, definitely want to start doing that, maybe with my Florida Ghost as well. But now my Florida Ghost is freaking massive. It's like a tree that's almost touching the ceiling of my grow tent, and its new leaves is like pretty much touching the grow lights. It's not burning or anything, but it's growing also crazy fast. Like it's a new leaf every 2 to 3 weeks as well, and they're getting really big. So I'm a little concerned that that one's going to outgrow my tent and I'm gonna have to move it out, and I won't be able to give it the light conditions that it's currently getting. So I mean, that's not a problem that I'm gonna deal with today, but still manifesting a polypodioides. Okay, so another extension I need to do, it's not much of an extension, but this is my Monstera Esqueleto. It's not quite reached the top of the pole, so all this is like petiole. The stem is still down here, but I kind of want to get this a little bit more contained, and I'll just build the moss up a little bit more. But look at the new leaf that's coming out right here. If I peel back this layer, look at the fenestrations that are on this leaf. Can you see? Can I see? I can't even see. Can you see? Yeah, it's gonna be a really holy one. I'm really excited to see this one unfurl. And let's see, the length of it is already at this stage, I wanna say slightly longer than the previous leaf. So I think it's gonna be a nice big size up. Also, it's rooted quite a lot into the pole. Can you see the greeny roots in here? So I'm not gonna do much to it. And to be honest, if I don't even know if I have much plastic up here. No, actually I do. So first of all, someone asked me how, like when it starts to grow past the plastic, what do you do? So for example, these petioles have grown past this strap here. So essentially it's really simple, but you just like undo it. And at this point, like there's enough roots in the pole that's holding the moss together, so it shouldn't fall apart. And then I'm just gonna go around the new petioles and then put it back in. And actually now I can probably like steal one of these lower straps at this point and just use it to do the top. I am so freaking lazy today. If there is anything that can save me any sort of effort whatsoever, I am 100% on board. This plant also fell off. I just knocked the entire container of moss and then it rolled across the floor. And now there's wet moss everywhere. This is why repot with me's are so chill to do on camera. And then the aftermath. It's the aftermath. I'm speechless. You know what? We're gonna abort this one because no, I should do it. Let's clean up this moss and get on with the show. Okay, be right back. I'm upset. I'm very upset. I'm not happy with this. All right, so I can make it like, this long. Okay. And then I'll cut it about here. Yeah, Hux, I spilled a lot of moss on the ground, so it's not free snacks, okay? You'll have your own snacks later. Okay, now the pole is a little bit more contained. It's not all like flared out at the top. I might as well just add some moss at this point, even though it doesn't technically need it right now. Just for aesthetics, I think it would be nice to add some. Buddy, don't eat the moss, okay? Okay, that is about as much as the plant needs right now and about as much as I have the willpower to do right now. So that's Escaloto done. Honestly, it didn't really need that much attention. It just needed a little bit. I was just a little bit sick of looking at it. It'll get a proper extension once the stem grows higher, but honestly, the stem is pretty much like here right now. The rest is all petiole, so it has quite a ways to go before this pole needs to be extended or anything. Okay, who's next? There was a thing that I really needed to do. Oh my goodness, of course. Before I pot anything else up and use up all my pon. So do you remember when I showed this UPI in my latest video, my plant wish list video, like the plants that I got? And I said in that video, as soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to get this into pon. You guys, I'm a filthy liar. I didn't do that whatsoever. I didn't even attempt to do that. I just turned off the camera and went about my life after that. So we're actually gonna do that now. So I'm gonna pull this out. Actually, there's more roots than I was expecting. So hopefully there's not too much to remove from here. Let's see. Whoa, there's way more roots than I thought. It was more rooted into this moss than I originally thought. So there's a lot of moss stuck to the roots. Like, I thought that it wasn't rooted in moss. I don't recall what Lauren had it when I saw it. I thought it was water, and I thought maybe it wasn't rooted in moss, and then Charmaine just potted it in moss when she gave it to me, and then she was like, get it out of here as soon as possible because it's not quite rooted into here yet. But now I feel like it was acclimated in moss, so there's a lot of acclimated roots in here, which is to be expected because Lauren never sells plants without tons of her own roots. And, like, she would never flip an import like that. So I'm not altogether too surprised, but I kind of wish that there was less moss roots on here. But it's okay. Like, I don't think that some moss on these roots would be a problem at all in pon. So I'm gonna get like the majority of it off, but I'm not gonna fuss with it too much. I'm just getting like all the chunks, but anything like this root here, which is like got a thin layer of moss around it, I'm not gonna like scrub that off or anything. I don't want to stress this one out too much. Like, it was imported a couple of months ago. I want to say like 3 months ago. What is it, August now? Yeah, maybe it was like 3 months ago she imported it. So it's definitely, you know, been through it a bit, and then it's been chopped, and I see that the growth point is activated now. Like, see here, where is it? Here, the growth point is active. So I'm gonna try to disturb the roots as little as possible. I will kind of get rid of some of these like shed import roots, and then I'm gonna get it into pond. So I think this is pretty much all I'm gonna remove, to be honest. Yeah, so that's what we're working with now. I'm gonna get it back into the same container. I'm gonna actually take off the disco ball, and I actually wanna hang it off the middle of my exo here. I just don't know how. Because I'm not very smart. Honestly, I might just like tape it to the ceiling of the exo, just like a little disco ball in the middle. So I'm gonna take this pole off. Am I? Do I need it? No, I don't think I need it. I'm gonna take this pole. I feel like it'll be stable enough with the pond that I'm not gonna need. Right. Although someone did leave a comment on my wish list video that said that with a pole, UPI would grow tighter internodes. So I did note that. I will put it on a pole. I just, you know, honestly, I don't have it in me today. And basically my plan right now, right in this moment, is I'm going to film until my food arrives, and then we're gonna say goodbye. So I'm just gonna keep it simple today, and I'm going to just pot this in pond and let it grow a few leaves, because it's, oh no. I'm peeling the tape off and it's taking off some of the stickers. Oh no. Oh no, there goes the peace sign. I'm trying to decide, do I need this pole on here? I don't think I do. I'm confused a little bit as to why this pole is on the pot, because it wasn't connected to the plant unless it was only to house the disco ball, which if that's the case, then I completely understand. But if it's not the case, I'm a little bit confused, because the stickers were placed after the tape. Am I overthinking this? I'm trying to map out the trajectory of the pot. So seems like it was potted and then the bamboo stick was added to the back and then taped on with packing tape, and then the stickers were added. But I feel, okay, so I'm really invested in this now. Okay, so I think what happened is she wanted to add a disco ball, so she hung it on this bamboo pole because it looks like it was the bamboo was split on top, so she could slide this part of the disco ball on it. And then she decided that it wasn't festive enough, so then she added all the stickers around it, but the packing tape was already on the pot, which means that some of the stickers got placed on top of the packing tape, which just got peeled off. So there's one part of it which is stickerless now. Okay, I think I figured it out. Mystery solved. I know you guys are just as invested in that as I was. If you want to know the extent of my laziness, I'm not even getting up to wash out the moss. I'm just wiping it off. I have to say, I really need to buy more perlite because I'm not in love with the giant perlite in the pond mix. It's not bad, but I find this current mix a little too chunky for me. But I made it this way just to stretch my pond out because I'm running so low on lechuza pond. But I don't love how big these pieces are. So the growth point is right here. It's going to grow upwards. So I think what I'll do is I'll pot it closer to the front as usual so that I have space for a lazy pole later. Because again, unless I have to, like unless I get root rot or something, I'm not going to uppot this plant for the foreseeable future. Guys, my stomach is rumbling. I'm so hungry. Hugs, you want dinner soon? Should we have our dinner soon? And then, gotta add some myco. Actually, I'm gonna swirl it because some of that, there's like this sediment that sinks to the bottom, which they say is just like the carrier for the myco and the bacteria. So I don't think it's actually the myco and bacteria. The myco and bacteria are suspended, but I always just mix it up and swirl it just in case, you know, there's some good stuff settling at the bottom. And then last step is to put my little wish rock back in to help stabilize. Okay, now the UPI is in pon. Here's my favorite leaf. It's so beautiful, you guys. I love him so much. Who's messaging me? The food is here. Frick. Let me put this UPI back. That can't be the end of the video. I feel like I'm cheating you guys of a proper video if I end this here, but I'm also out of pon. This is all I have left. This little bit here. So I have enough pon left to do a small plant. Oh no. Let's do this one last. This one is a gloriosum baby. Oh no. It's so sad right now. This one was doing really well for a long time. It was sizing up. This one was grown from a stick, a rootless stick. It took a really long time to get going, but yeah, it was really happy. But this is grown in moss because it was just a chunk of stem that I had planted in moss. And since I moved it out, so this one was living in one of my small exos, which I had cleaned out, and I sold the exo that this one lived in. And it's been living in regular room conditions for the last month. It dried out completely a couple times. Look, it dropped 2 leaves. I found this thing like on the brink of death, although the roots kind of stayed alive, and I really just like, you can see how wet this moss is. It's like dripping wet. Literally, like, in order to get my plants watered with the time that I have, I'm just like freaking, I'm running around the room with just like bucket of water, just like splashing it everywhere. Like, I literally don't have time to spend with my plants the way I want to. So this one is sitting in a bin, and what I did with the watering last time was I just like dumped a ton of water at the bottom so that all the plants could be bottom watered. And I know that they'll take up the water because they're just under grow lights, and it's so warm in this room. And it's been really warm lately in general. The ambient temperature is really, really high. So I wasn't concerned about like drowning them in water or anything, but this is just to show you how ridiculous my life has become. And it's sad because like I wish I had time to just sit and like spend time with my plants and just like stare at them and zone out and take pictures and stuff. Like, I don't know if anyone has noticed. I'm sure nobody has, but like I don't even really post on Instagram that much anymore. Like, I used to post every single day. Now it's like every other day at best. And not because like I don't have plants I want to take photos of, but I'm actually really slow at posting a plant. And by that I mean like my process of photographing it. Literally, you should see my camera roll. Every photo that I post on Instagram, there's like probably at least 20 photos of the plant that almost look identical, but I can't just take a few photos and post it. Like, I never get it right on the first try. So then I have to edit it, and then I have to think of a caption. The idea of posting on Instagram at like the right time of day, like that idea has completely got out the window for me. So I just don't have the time to dedicate to a post, and I don't want to post a photo that I don't love just to get a post up. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's what I used to do, but lately I'm in a different place with my Instagram. Okay, so look at this. This is the mother stem. It's mushy. Yeah. You hear that? Get it up to the mic. Ew. Squishy, squishy. Ooh, look at that. Yuck. But it's done its work and there's nothing left to give now. Wait, I want to do it one more time. Ew. Just when you thought it was safe to be eating and watching this video. Unfortunately, the newest leaf has ripped itself coming out of the sheath. And there could be a variety of reasons, but the most likely reason is that it was used to growing in high humidity in my exo, and then I ripped it out of its enclosure and I put it into a dry ass room and it's not used to it yet. So that's unfortunate, but the important thing is we're gonna get it out of moss and into pon, which I am currently growing, I would say all but maybe one gloriosum in pon right now, and it's working really well for me. I find that like they don't mind this dry wet cycle, but the dry cycle can be ended really quickly with pon because all you have to do is just like pour water into it and then the rest will wick into the plant. I find often like my big gloriosums are like completely bone dry, but they're showing no signs of stress and the roots are still looking really nice and fuzzy and plump and pink. And then I just water it and then it just goes on with its merry life. So I actually find that like it doesn't mind the wet dry cycle, but just this one being in moss, I just can't hydrate the moss very easily unless it was watered somehow. I'm just over moss. So yeah, we got nice long roots. See, like we definitely have some drought damage here. The newest leaf before the one that got ripped is like malformed. Sorry, kid. I just feel so much guilt with my schedule right now, which is one reason why it's nice to have YouTube, which definitely keeps me honest and keeps me engaged with my plants. I'm not at the place where I'm like, oh, you know, post-COVID, things are normalizing. I'm like, I don't care about my plants anymore. You know, we see that a lot on Facebook where people kind of are leaving the hobby. I'm definitely not there. I am 100% still infatuated with plants. I'm just getting into like a stage in my life where work is, it's brutal. Like I don't even want to be working this much, and yeah, I don't see how I have a choice right now. So yeah, all that to say, I feel guilty. I feel really guilty every time I walk into this plant room because I see the unfinished projects, like the exo wall that I haven't taken the time to set it up properly and get the plants in their proper like environments again. So essentially like these plants that are not acclimated down gradually are just forced to live in regular room conditions. And normally I would, you know, I wouldn't just rip them out like that unless I wanted them long term to live in regular conditions. And some of them I do, but a lot of them I don't. Like for example, my Philodendron serpens. Oh man, it was so mad. It hated being in regular room humidity, and like it got so crispy on the edges, and also it aborted the newest growth point as well. So the newest leaf died inside of the sheath. It's now back into an exo. It's in the new big exo right here. And it will recover, I know that, but it just doesn't look as cute anymore. Like the newest leaf was so pristine and now it's all crispy on the edges. You know, just stuff like that I feel pretty awful about. Like I got a little bit too ambitious with getting everything ripped out and not really planning. I wasn't being realistic with the time that I had to get everything moved out pick up the EXO, clean it out, set this up. You know, I need 2 people for this. So basically I need I think my boyfriend just got home. Yeah, I didn't plan things out, and I was a little bit too naive, maybe is the word, with like how much time I had on my hands, and I'll be like, oh, it'll be fine, let's just do it and see what happens. So I'm not feeling great about my plants these days, to be honest, unless it's one of my tent plants that aren't in moss. I think those ones are still doing really great, but I have a lot of plants that I definitely haven't done the best for them. So one project that I have to get done, like I have no other choice, but is to fill up this EXO with the plants, but not just like stuff them in there. I want them properly, properly displayed, and I want them situated there, and they'll grow there for the foreseeable future. I want them on risers and stuff. And then I have all these plants down here on this shelf that a lot of them are props, to be honest. A lot of them I don't really care that much about, and then a lot of them are ones I do care about and just need attention, and then some of them are just plants that I got a long time ago that I've fallen out of love with, or I have too many of, and I don't really feel that much love for them anymore. And it's not because they're like not growing well, it's just because like I just have too many plants. I'm still in the process of getting rid of a lot of plants. Actually, Charmaine is coming back from California this Sunday. So the day that this video is going up, Charmaine will be on her way back from California, and she's bringing a ton of plants back, which I'm really, really excited about. First of all, we'll be filming a really fun video around those new plants. It's gonna be a fun one to watch, I can guarantee you that. Second of all, that means I need to make space specifically in my tent or this EXO for the new plants, because they are gonna be special ones that require special treatment. So I think I'm at the place where either I'm gonna give them away for free or I'm gonna throw them out. Probably it will just be I give them away for free. Like I'll probably just put them in the lobby of Charmaine's apartment building or something, and like that seemed to work well for her. I don't have a lobby where I live to put free stuff in, so I'm gonna have to borrow Charmaine's lobby for that. But yeah, like I think looking around this room right now and, you know, coming to terms with my schedule, like being realistic with myself about what I'm capable of doing, I think I have to make some sacrifices, and some plants are gonna have to be rehomed, but I think it'll be good. I think, I mean, I've been in this hobby long enough that like my tastes have changed, and it's been long enough that I feel like it's not just phases. I have plants that I love, and I have plants that are definitely my style and I will always love, and there were plants that I was intrigued by back in the day for a couple weeks, and then I got them, and you know, maybe they didn't do much for me, and then I kept them around, you know, just for whatever reason. And like, of course, now that plants aren't selling now for what they used to be selling for, so I'm not even like that motivated to sell them. Like it's just like I have to put on my shoes and I have to walk down the street to do this like handoff. So I really am excited for like a fresh start with my collection. I don't know if this is worth a video. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing like the plants I'm gonna get rid of, but I could definitely do a video like that before I drop them off at Charmaine's house or they go in the compost, because some of them are probably beyond saving at this point. But yeah, this was kind of a video without too much direction. So what did we do? We did my Monstera Brazilian common form, we did the hetero, we did the esqueleto, we did the Florida Beauty, the gloriosum. I haven't even like made a dent in the plant chores I have to do. So I thought, let's do a repot on camera, and then I'm gonna do a bunch of repots off camera. I was just talking to Charmaine. I was like, what are you doing today? Because she's at her mom's house, and she's like, I'm gonna be repotting and cleaning up a bunch of my mom's stuff. And it's just like, it feels so good to do plant chores without a camera involved, and I totally feel that. It feels like you're almost like cheating. It's like you're in the HOV lane without having a second passenger. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like almost a little bit naughty, but it's very freeing to do a lot of plant chores off camera after feeling like you should be using it as content. Do you know what I mean? So I think I just have beyond way too many plant chores to do that I can't afford to do all of it on camera. How long have I been filming for this time around? Oh my goodness, 47 minutes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. My food has been sitting on my porch for about maybe 15 minutes now, so I'm gonna go eat. So next week's video will hopefully be the fun collab with Charmaine. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it will go up next week, but stay tuned for that. Again, any sort of video requests, I would love if you leave it in the comments. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little comment and I'm gonna pin it at the top, and you can just leave a reply to that comment for any videos you're wanting to see. Like, what is your favorite type of planty content to watch? I would really love to know. And I think it'd be nice to just kind of branch out into different videos that I haven't done before. As long as it doesn't require a lot of research ahead of time, I can definitely do different stuff that I've done. I have a couple of videos in the list right now that do require research. So like my research, time is already kind of spoken for. But if there's a kind of video that you just freaking love watching, let me know and I would love to give it a shot. So anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbing now. I'm gonna let you get on with your life. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the comments. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.